Hello and welcome to the career simulation of Iginla. To start off, will be playing on the Kelowna Rocket J on N the first center line. In his first season in the WHL, Iginla would score 117 points in 68 games played. The Rocket would finish fourth in the league and would make the playoffs. Kelowna would go on to win the HLM24 Cup in year 1, beating the Thunderbirds in 7 games. In 21 games, Iginla would score 28 points and is also projected to go 9th overall. In the draft lottery, the Ducks and the Sharks have the best odds at the first overall pick. The Kraken would take the first and the Ducks would take the second at the end, and Iginla is now projected to go to the LA Kings at 9th overall. In the draft, would drop one spot down to 10th as he would be picked up by the Columbus Blue Jackets. He is revealed to be a 74 and would receive his ELC for 3 years at $800,000. He is still a 74 and is still playing on the Rockets. In 68 games, would score 153 points. The Rocket would finish first in the league and would make the playoffs. The Rockets would be eliminated in the finals to the Kamloops Blazers in 6 games. In 16 games, Iginla would score 24 points. Iginla is now up to a 77 overall. In 68 games, Iginla would score 134 points this season. Kelowna would finish third in the league and would obviously make the playoffs. The Rockets would be eliminated in the third round to the Thunderbirds in 6 games. In 10 games, Iginla would score 11 points. He is still a 77 but will now be playing on the Lake Erie Monsters on the first line with Slater Cuckoo and Brendan Gaunce. Iginla would play 13 games with Cleveland and would score 18 points. Also, he would play 34 games in the NHL with the Blue Jackets, scoring only 7 goals. The Blue Jackets would finish 26th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Iginla is now up to an 82 overall. He would finally make the NHL, playing on the third forward line with Yegor Chinakhov and Jack Roslovic. In 82 games, Iginla would score 46 points. The Blue Jackets would surprisingly make the playoffs, finishing second in the league. However, they would be eliminated in the first round to the Flyers in 7 games and in those 7 games would score 7 points. Iginla would receive a 1-year deal at $5.4 million and is now up to an 88 overall. In 82 games, would score 57 points. The Blue Jackets would finish 9th and make the playoffs. Once again in the first round, the Jackets would be eliminated, this time to the Devils in 6 games. Iginla would score 6 points as well. Iginla would receive another 1-year deal, this time at 1 year for $8.2 million. Iginla is still an 88 though. In 82 games, Iginla would score 83 points. The Blue Jackets would finish 9th again and would go all the way to the conference finals but would be eliminated to the Sens in 7 games. In 18 games, Iginla would score 22 points. Once again, would receive a 1-year deal for $7.9 million this time. Also, he is now an 89. In 81 games, Iginla would score 88 points. The Blue Jackets would finish 8th in the league and would make the playoffs. The Blue Jackets would be eliminated in the first round again to the Capitals in 5 games. In those 5 games, Iginla would unfortunately score no points at all. Finally, Iginla would not receive a 1-year as he would receive an 8-year deal at $10 million. He is still an 89. In 82 games, Iginla would score 78 points. The Blue Jackets would surprisingly miss the playoffs as they would finish 21st in the league. He has reached his maximum potential as an 89 overall. In 82 games, would score 76 points. The Blue Jackets would finish third in the league and would make the playoffs. In the second round, the Hurricanes would eliminate the Jackets in 5 games. In 10 games, Iginla would score 8 points. Once again an 89. In 82 games, Iginla would score 70 points on the regular season. The Blue Jackets would finish 19th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Iginla is still an 89. In 82 games, Iginla would score 77 points. The Blue Jackets would finish 23rd in the league and would miss the playoffs. He is still an 89 overall. In 75 games, Iginla would score 74 points. The Blue Jackets would finish 24th and would miss the playoffs again. He is still an 89. In 66 games, Iginla would score 68 points. The Blue Jackets would finish 5th in the league and would make the playoffs. The Pens would eliminate the Jackets in the second round in 6 games. Iginla would play only 6 games and would score 4 points. Iginla is once again an 89. In 82 games, Iginla would score 85 points. The Blue Jackets would finish third in the league and would make the playoffs. The Blue Jackets would go on to win their first cup in franchise history, beating the Sharks in 7 games. In 18 games Iginla would score 25 points. Iginla would win the Conn Smythe this season as well. In the last year of his contract he is now an 88. In the last year of his contract he is still an 88. In 82 games Iginla would score 63 points. The Blue Jackets would finish first and would obviously make the playoffs. The Jets would eliminate the Blue Jackets in the Cup Finals in 6 games. Iginla would receive a 5-year deal at $9.3 million. He is now down to an 87 though. Iginla would join the Red Wings and would play 82 games and would score 56 points. Here's the trade pause to read if you'd like. The Red Wings would finish 25th in the league and would miss the playoffs. He is now an 85. In 57 games Tige would score 41 points. The Red Wings would miss the playoffs finishing 29th. Iginla is down to an 84. In 82 games Iginla would score 38 points. The Red Wings would finish 14th and would make the playoffs. The Panthers would eliminate the Red Wings in the first round in a sweep though. In 4 games Iginla would only score 2 goals. Iginla would be traded to the Flyers and is now an 82. Here's the trade by the way. In 81 games Iginla would score 33 points. The Flyers would finish 30th and would miss the playoffs. In what could be his last year in the NHL Iginla is now down to a 78. Here's the trade to Stars. He was traded to the Stars for a made-up player named Uptemata. Tige would play 4 games with Dallas but would score no points and would play 20 games with Texas and would score 13 points. The Stars would finish 12th and would make the playoffs. In the first round Texas would be eliminated to Tucson in 5 games. Also Iginla would play no games in the playoffs. At the age of 37 Iginla would retire from the NHL. Here are his awards. Pause to read if you'd like. His stats as well. For records and Blue Jackets games played Iginla played 994 games and that would place him 8th in between a made-up prospect named Taylor Boyd and Yegor Chinnikov. In goals Iginla would score 389 goals placing him 3rd in between a made-up prospect named Laurent Terrien and Cole Sillinger. For assists Iginla put up 483 assists placing him 7th in between a made-up prospect named Sami Salonen and another made-up prospect named Jerry Vesalainen. In points Iginla scored 872 points placing him 4th in between Zach Werenski and Cole Sillinger. That is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.